But yeah, we got. Yeah, he got reverse sniped. Hassan, why do you support Uber? What? Literally, when have I supported Uber, you fucking dingus, dude? Being able to pay for your friends' family is just an immense luxury. I entirely agree. My cousin just graduated college. Being able to take her out for a nice night in the city, just cover really everything nice. She gets to have a great time without worrying about costs all night. Yeah. The Soy Avengers. Thor lives with his mom. Yeah. Chat will criticize you for using Uber. LMAO, what the fuck? Hey, welcome to a fucking leftist broadcast. Chat also criticized me for running ads at the top of the hour every hour, where I have a contractual obligation to have a 60-second per hour ad density. Okay? Chat will criticize you for everything, including that. But the ads run regardless, whether they criticize it or not. And the segues are on fire, whether chat criticizes it or not. I forgot to fucking also tweet out that I'm live, which I should do. Now, of course, if you no longer want to see the ads, you already know you can subscribe for $5. You can subscribe for free with a Twitch Prime. And you can also use an ad block or a VPN, you know. But here's the ad break. The ad break comes for all, no matter what. Here it is. Let me fucking tweet out that I'm live, too. Daycare is late, but open. I am dying because I went outside and touched grass, asphalt. We'll talk some news and experiences and more. Get in now. Did anyone forget to wear sunblock? No, I think everybody wore sunblock. You didn't tweet. I thought you died. OML. What does OML mean? On my life? Oh my lord. So you officially not going to Universal, or you? I mean, I don't know, dude. What the fuck's going on in this picture? Bitches be hearing about my rank 1 titles and shit, know what I'm saying? Yeah, Soda is a W streamer. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Yeah. Dude, at this thing last night, a single drink, I was like, yo, I'm gonna go walk around. I want to see like the entire lay of the land. And Love was like, I'll come with you. So we start walking around, and at first there was like a security guy who was right next to our table. He's like, I don't know if he was a fan or not, but he was like hooking it up big time. Like he was like walking us around, which was great. And you know, we went and I was like, sure, I'll get some water. And then at the bar, the lady upsold us. And I was like, all right, we'll get a drink. Dude, drinks were $50, dude. $50 for one fucking shot of tequila. It was the worst. It was the worst thing on the planet. Like, absolutely preposterous, absolutely unacceptable. Just straight up insanity. Like a fucking little baby sip of tequila was $50, dude. I've never seen anything like it. And it was cash only or Cash App. But you bought it? No, Lud did. Yo, Ludwig took a lot of L's financially last night. No, it was Casamigos too. It wasn't even like fucking. It wasn't even anything like good. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything like crazy. What the fuck is going on with YouTube right now? Okay. You can get the bottle for $50, lol. Yeah, I know. Remember that fucking person that Healthcare Sharing Ministries new John Oliver dropped? Okay, we'll get started with some news in a second. Hogwatch playlist. Neocon group members, politicians, military officers. Spiritual TikTok is crazier than witch talk. I love these different variety talks. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna start off with the fucking John Oliver early, and then we'll get to other news. But I'll be back in 1 second. Okay. Healthcare sharing with John Oliver is what we're starting off with.
Concerns healthcare, the field responsible for repairing organs, treating cancer, and removing foreign objects from rectums.
I know, Right Wing Watch got banned. We're going to talk about all that. Hold on.
A fork, 6 magic markers, and a cat toy bell, which, credit where it's due, is the most promising advancement in cat hiding places since Under the Dresser. Access to healthcare is a big problem in America, and one of the key reasons is that health insurance is often linked to employment. Why is that the case? Well, because we do it wrong. There is a right way to do it, but we don't do it that way. We do it the wrong way. And this is a particular problem at the moment because employment is still down 7.6 million jobs from its pre-pandemic level, all of which means that many are struggling to find healthcare coverage right now. So they might be intrigued if they stumble on an ad like this.
My healthcare costs were going to double this year.
Doubled. It was down to healthcare or my student loans.
I found a better way.
It's neighbors helping neighbors.
Liberty Health Share.
It's freedom from insurance.
At Liberty Health Share, we support each other and keep health costs down.
We're changing the way you're paying for health care.
This is the way it should be.
We're all in this together.
Well, hold on, because I'm not sure how together you all are. What I saw there was a bunch of people together with warm lens flares and then one weird older man very much on his own in black and white. He's in a slightly different thing, and we're not going to say why, but on some level, I think we all know. That ad is for something called a healthcare sharing ministry. And if you haven't heard of them before, you may have come across one and not even realized it, because they have been growing fast in the US. And the key phrase in that ad is freedom from insurance. Because the most important thing to know about healthcare sharing ministries, or HCSMs, isn't just that they can be cheaper than health insurance, which they can, is that they are also not health insurance. Generally, they are non-profits where people who share religious beliefs, usually Christianity, agree to help cover each other's medical bills. Here is a heartwarming story about what one of them looks like in practice.
We're praying for a young lady named Kimberly.
Bob Stedman and his family are praying for someone they've never met.
She had a shunt installed in her brain.
They've also prepared a card with a check for $561.
To bear her burden by sending them some money.
A scene like this plays out here once a month.
It does take a measure of faith to do it. We are sharing. This is so different than what we're used to in our society.
He's right. People actually looking out for each other does sound better than our current system, which is get sick, have insurance decline coverage, and then hope Deborah Messing retweets your GoFundMe. That's great, Deborah, but did you donate? Did you? Did you, Deborah? And it does feel more personal sending $500 a month to a stranger in need than to a company that sounds like someone made up a word after getting a shitty Scrabble hand. Perhaps that is why the local news team who covered that story seemed so moved after it ended.
I mean, can you imagine being that person and getting the check in the mail, not knowing that someone was going to help you, and then suddenly you have all this help?
Right. It's all about faith, isn't it? Faith that it's going to get paid, faith in God, and it's just amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah, of course they're into this shit. Faith, strangers, coming together, throw in a runaway dog who found his owner in the hospital even though he'd never been to the hospital, and you've got yourself a Schedule 1 local news thirst trap. And HCSMs are definitely an alternative, but as you've probably guessed because you're learning about them on this show and not what if John Oliver was somehow less angry, less English and had Jack Ryan money, there are also some significant drawbacks which, depending on the company in question, can range from the disquieting to the disqualifying. So tonight, let's talk about healthcare sharing ministries, what they are, what they do, and more importantly, what they don't do. And the first thing to know is HCSMs have actually existed in the United States for decades, traditionally serving small, insular communities like Mennonites and the Amish. However, the 2010 Affordable Care Act included a loophole that exempted uninsured people from paying the tax penalty if they were a member of an HCSM, and that was clearly immediately appealing to anyone who wanted to opt out of Obamacare. In fact, some HCSMs, like Liberty HealthShare, one of the biggest ministries, have specifically targeted a conservative audience. Liberty has run ads on The Blaze and also sponsored CPAC. In fact, remember that famous moment when Trump molested the flag? The Liberty logo was an eyewitness to that crime. And Liberty even made its sales pitch directly to the CPAC audience during panels like this one.
If you want the government to take care of you and you think they do a great job doing it, health sharing is not for you. If you want to stick it to them, sign up for Liberty Health Share.
Okay, on a list of the worst sounds known to man, self-satisfied CPAC laughter has to be right at the top, beaten only by Weeping Kitten and Mother's Orgasm. Now, that Affordable Care Act loophole did try to put some limits in place to keep things from getting out of hand. It stated that your ministry, or crucially, a predecessor of it, had to have been in continuous existence since 1999. But unfortunately, that predecessor detail left room for exploitation because new ministries simply started affiliating themselves with previously existing churches. Take one called Trinity HealthShare. It was founded in 2018.
Much like anything else that revolves around, people that don't want to utilize government services, of course, fucking this is yet another goddamn scam. Sorry. Are you going to go an extra hour late since you started an hour late? Also, yeah, I guess pretty low. I guess I forgot you were literally talking about eating in a hidden restaurant in Los Angeles. Lols. Are you all right, dude? Are you doing all right? You wanna take an hour off, I think? I think we found the spreadsheet chatter. That's good.
Just so we're clear, I would go feral for this dick. Like foaming at the mouth, rabies, give me a rabies shot.
I think, okay.
Which is, and this is true, after 1999. But it argued that it still qualified because it derived its existence from the Baptist Church, which has been in existence and continually sharing since the 1600s, which is obvious bullshit. It's like me claiming that this show has been around for 13 billion years because the Big Bang was also a bright expanse containing extremely dense material. That's just not how anything works. So a loophole that was intended to be small got pretty big and even bigger once Obamacare's individual mandate stopped being enforced during the Trump years. And the result of all of this was that the popularity of these ministries exploded from an estimated 200,000 members a decade ago to more than 1 million today. And while HCSMs will insist that they make it abundantly clear that they are not health insurance, many do seem to go out of their way to make themselves appear as insurance-like as possible. For a start, they're sometimes sold through insurance brokers alongside actual insurance plans. And while the Obamacare marketplace offers plans in 4 metal categories, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, a company called Altrua offered plans in gold, silver, bronze, and copper, rebranding them last year to diamond, emerald, sapphire, and ruby. Although it is still pretty clear what they're trying to do there, very much blur the line, while also throwing some extremely unfair shade at Ruby, the objective goat of the cardinal gems. She's red, known for her flaws, and responsible for the most iconic slippers in the history of cinema. Eat your fucking hearts out, Sapphire and Emerald, because you could literally never. But while these HCSMs may have the optics of insurance, there are some very important differences. For a start, they don't have to abide by laws governing insurance products, meaning there is nothing stopping them from placing restrictions on coverage for pre-existing conditions, which is exactly what they do. And not only that, many won't cover services considered essential under the ACA, like treatment for substance abuse or mental health care. In fact, Altrua excludes those and also treatment for obesity or autism. And Samaritan's classic plan has a list of non-qualified items, including...
So, this is like, this is one step worse than junk insurance, which is another kind of insurance that you can get that provides like no less than bare minimum coverage, which is another way to avoid Obamacare, even though originally I believe junk insurance, or like a bare level of coverage, was supposed to be regulated by the government to ensure that, no pun intended, insurance companies couldn't offer you like actual junk insurance just to say that you have insurance to avoid the Obamacare tax, the individual mandate. And there was like a bare minimum that your coverage is supposed to provide you. This is one way of getting around that bare minimum so that you're basically still paying into an insurance plan, but that insurance plan is cheaper than the other alternatives, but also literally doesn't cover anything. So you end up spending more money overall if you, God forbid, have to go to a hospital. But then again, it doesn't really matter because you can pray the gay away and also pray your diabetes away and also pray that America doesn't turn into a communist country because, you know, famous Kenyan Marxist Obabe became president. So that's all you got at that point. You know what I mean?
Including routine, maintenance, stabilized, preventive, and wellness care. That is everything from regular checkups to vaccinations. And even for eligible expenses, the most that can be shared for a given need is $250,000, which probably explains their full name. Samaritan, not the good one though, just a random Samaritan who might well leave you to die in the middle of an abandoned road. And we haven't even gotten to one of the biggest excuses HCSMs can use to deny coverage, and that is morality. Because that means that you can be denied coverage for basically anything.
This is a program of the Christian Care Ministry, and people who smoke or same-sex couples need not apply. The program also won't pay for illnesses related to alcohol, abortion, or other lifestyle-related choices.
I need to know that I'm not going to be paying for someone else who's decided to sit on the couch and eat bonbons all day.
Wow, that is harsh. But I will say that judgmental tone is very much in line with how these ministries operate. Do people really deserve healthcare coverage if they eat junk food or don't exercise or are gay? Just fix it. Eat a carrot. Go for a run. Rub your penis or vagina on someone else's vagina or penis respectively. It's really not difficult. And this is a pattern across HCSMs. Liberties materials say an applicant must comply with a Christian lifestyle.
None of them goddamn anti-Christian behavior like getting insulin for your diabetes.
And among the exclusions on Samaritan's classic program, you'll find that they might pay for treatment for an STD, but not if it was contracted by sex outside of marriage, and that the member has to explain how the disease was contracted. Presumably, the hotter the story, the more money you get for.
It's just funny considering all of this stuff happens in America in like fundamentalist circles that are hyper conservative, and yet all these like Muslim countries that we look down upon from our, of course, Western civilization point of view, they offer way, way more comprehensive healthcare to the best of their ability when they're not ravaged by war. Like these countries straight up, these Muslim countries like straight up offer abortions and public health services in general. It's great. Wonderful to think of when you compare it to America and these like solutions that these evangelicals have.
Ointments. Vanilla missionary shit isn't going to get covered here, bud. You better have gotten gonorrhea from an earlobe if you want Samaritan's attention. But sweeping moral judgment isn't the only leeway that these organizations have. Because they are voluntary associations, you have no guarantee that your bills will get paid. Although, to hear a founder of Liberty HealthShare tell it, you've really got nothing to worry about there. Just listen to him reassure people in a video on their website titled, "Will My Bills Be Paid?"
We've had a successful history of sharing medical bills 100% for every eligible need ever submitted. So it doesn't depend upon a written contract where we can sue each other if someone doesn't send their share amount. It's really a contract written on our hearts.
Oh, right. It's a contract written on your hearts. Figuratively, of course, because literally, it's not a contract. And as for his claim there that Liberty successfully shared 100% of medical bills for every eligible need, given, as we've discussed, they can deem any need ineligible for any reason, that phrase is essentially as meaningless as their cardiac non-contract. And on top of all of this, there is the practical matter of how exactly you pay for your care as a member. The HCSM process typically is you're told to present yourself as uninsured, then when you get your bill, the expectation is that you bargain down the cost of your care as much as you can, then pay the bill yourself, then submit your bills to the ministry for reimbursement.
The irony of insurance and this, whatever this healthcare sharing ministries concept is, and single payer healthcare is that it's always the same. It's a cost sharing pool, okay? So whenever people are like, "Oh, dude, insurance is necessary. We can't have single payer. Like, you're crazy, whatever." You're just basically saying like, you just want multiple providers that cost share, rather than a single entity that engages in that cost sharing, because that's how this works. Healthy people pay into the process and don't take out as much from the process, so that unhealthy people who desperately need it will still pay more, but then ultimately get more out of it. This is how insurance works. This is how healthcare sharing ministries work. And this is how like a tax-based insurance program would work as well if it was a single payer. That's just how it works no matter what. It doesn't matter if it's private. It doesn't matter if it's public. Okay? The only difference is, because you're terrified of government bureaucracy and communism, brother, you end up literally paying a group of individuals and get pretty much nothing in return. And there is no protection or no guarantee that they're going to help you. And they fuck you over as much as possible because you're a dumbass who believes that this is a better alternative to, you know, the government helping you.
And if you have ever waited for your friends to Venmo you after paying for dinner, you know that the reimbursement process can go very wrong. Participants in Liberty, you know, the one with the heart contract, have found payments can be slow to non-existent.
In the past 3 years, Tiffany Schultz with the Wisconsin Better Business Bureau says the BBB has taken more than 500 complaints about Liberty HealthShare, many with similar stories, one claiming $90,000 in outstanding medical bills that were pre-approved.
Either the consumer is out the money and hasn't been reimbursed, or they're ending up going to collections.
That's not great. And while Liberty claims that 2019 was a particularly difficult year and that they are proud of the improvements they've made since then, it is worth noting that Liberty's members still seem pretty active on the Better Business Bureau website, where they've logged 304 complaints in the last 12 months, which is a lot, especially when you consider that Cigna, a massive insurer, has just half that amount while having 15 times the members. And imagine having more people complain about you than about Cigna, a company whose logo is a cartoon man standing in a field as his head explodes from dealing with their customer service. And unfortunately, in most states, a complaint to the Better Business Bureau is basically all the recourse you have.
Which is nothing. Okay? Let's be real. That is nothing.
And these ministries have worked very hard to keep accountability at bay, successfully lobbying for so-called safe harbor laws in more than 30 states, ensuring that they can operate safely outside of insurance regulations. And to see just how much you can get away with, it's worth looking at a company called Alira, which has been heavily involved with a number of health-sharing ministries over the years. First, one called Unity, then one called Trinity, which now goes by Sharity. Although those names sound less like healthcare organizations and more like characters in a religious-themed Captain Planet knockoff. When their powers combine, they get cancelled after 2 episodes. Alira presents itself as merely an administrator for HCSMs, but it is intricately connected to the ones that it works with, and very much by design. Just 6 weeks after Trinity was incorporated, it signed a deal with Alira, stipulating that Alira would have exclusive ownership rights to the membership roster and was the sole party developing and marketing the plans, including the HCSM component. So Alira's relationship with Trinity is basically this guy's relationship to his alien costume. He can claim he isn't technically the costume, and that's true, but the costume doesn't really do anything without him. And customers in multiple states.
By the way, this is why the rest of the world laughs at us. Whenever I talk shit about like Canada, make fun of their accents, whenever I make fun of, oi brovs in the UK, their immediate retort is, oh yeah? Well, I can go to the hospital for free, jackass. Oi, bruv, I'll fucking shank you. But at least you get a fucking healthcare coverage by the fucking NHS. And honestly, come on, America. Do you really want to get owned by a bunch of fucking oi bruvs? I mean, think about that, dude. We should fix this system exclusively so people can't talk shit on us. Or at least like they'll be forced to shift their focus over to other stuff that is in desperate need of improvement. Like, oi, bruv, at least we don't have the #1 incarceration rate in a fucking universe. America's basically one big prison island, bruv. That sort of thing. Oh, you're #1 in school shooters still, yeah? At least we can eliminate one of the talking points, though. You know what I'm saying?
States have claimed that Alira and its ministries have been ruthless in denying coverage, wielding morality clauses hard. When one member was attacked and knocked unconscious outside a bar and taken to the hospital with serious injuries, including a skull fracture, cervical spine fracture, and intracranial bleeding, Alira denied her claims, stating her injuries were self-inflicted and citing their guidelines, including the line, follow spiritual teachings on the use or abuse of alcohol.
Literally, pray it away.
Which I'm pretty sure is the benevolent advice Jesus himself would have given under the circumstances. And incredibly, that's not even the
supply side Jesus. Everybody famously knows Jesus only healed the lepers after they had signed on to Jesus Care. And once they had actually paid off their deductibles. Or paid off their like minimum yearly limit. This is the only way you can get Jesus Care. Like, he didn't heal the fucking lepers for free, dude. That's crazy. He was a white man, blonde, blue eyes, and he believed in capitalism.
The worst story of a rejected claim involving Alira.
10-year-old Lola Grace Seegers is healthy just 4 months after brain surgery. On September 11th, she was rushed from the local ER in Greene County by ambulance to Children's Healthcare Scottish Rite, where doctors removed a softball-sized brain tumor.
Oh my God.
Just amazing, the care.
But last week came the bill from their health plan, Alera Companies.
$325,624.
Alera says Children's is out of network and won't pay the $325,000 bill.
We had a life-threatening emergency. They failed us and her.
Holy shit. They would
dude, come on, dude. We're literally the worst country. Come on, dude. We are unironically the worst country. How are you going to sit here and be like, this is America's #1, baby. We're #1, baby. You hear stories like that and you still believe that we're #1. You're fucking so delusional, dude. I'd just not pay for it. What are they going to do? Put the tumor back in? Yeah, just take on crippling debt for the rest of your life and have that follow you everywhere you go. Maybe the bank will take your fucking home, forehead. Yeah. Well, we can't put the tumor back in, but we can take your house. Hey, have fun. Have fun living in a literal ditch because you were a renter and you couldn't pay for this. And now your credit score is like -700, okay?
Denied reimbursement for a child who had a softball-sized tumor removed from her brain.
Here, this person explained it a little bit better. Yeah, just lose everything, have the IRS garnish your wages, and all your credit goes to shit, never being able to buy a home or apartment again. Yup.
Which is incidentally exactly the kind of immoral behaviour I'd expect sharing ministries to classify as fucking disqualifying. Now, Alira claims that family's issues were ultimately resolved, but only after that story was featured on the news. And it shows just how little recourse you have, that if you don't have a child that you can get onto TV.
Bro, if you want your healthcare to work for you in the way that you like intended it to work for you because you actually paid into it, just, I don't know, go and beg for money on the internet or take it to the local news. So is that what we're supposed to do? That's our only recourse? Oh, hey, your healthcare is not, we're not going to do any coverage even though you've paid into this healthcare. Well, guess what? Take it to the fucking news. Maybe we'll think about it. It's great. When you think about it, it is literally, what is it, Katniss Evergreen or whatever? The Hunger Games. Straight up. You just have to fight for your life. If you're not popular enough, if people don't care about it, if people don't care about your cause or your plight, what is it? I don't know. I didn't watch The Hunger Games. Isn't that what her name is? Evergreen? Katniss Evergreen? Why are you guys laughing at me? What is the real one? Everdeen? Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't fucking know. Shut up. I was close enough. Shut the fuck up.
TV to shame the company into action, you could be shit out of luck. And look, traditional insurance companies also have their share of horror stories when it comes to denial of coverage. But there are important differences here. Not just in the level of protection that you have when that happens, but in the degree of financial accountability. Because while the ACA requires actual health insurers to spend no more than 20% of money on administrative costs, therefore leaving at least 80% for care, there is no such requirement for HCSMs. And you can probably tell where this is going. Because investigations have found that out of every $100 a Trinity member paid in premiums, only $16 went towards paying medical expenses, with the rest being kicked up to Alira. And paying out 16% of the money that you take in for coverage is a lot different than paying out 80%, because 80% makes you think, wait, why exactly do we have insurance companies? Whereas 16% makes you think, is a crime happening to me right now? And if so, why does everyone seem okay with it? And when a local news reporter caught up with the head of Alira to ask her about its reluctance to pay out claims, her response was not particularly reassuring.
Do you have any apologies to the members who believe their claims ought to be paid and they're not paid?
We're not a healthcare sharing ministry, Mr. Strickland. We only administer on behalf of the ministries. I can't help you any further. I need to get...
Dude, I love that this level of division of labor is now exclusively used to abdicate responsibility, to absolve yourself of the sins by washing your hands, just being like, oh, you don't understand. My job isn't to like provide healthcare coverage. My job is to provide healthcare coverage, or my job is to manage the healthcare providers. It's great. We're just a third party. I feel like we watched this last week on PACE loans, dude, where the guy being called out literally was like, it's not my fault. Like, there's never... How are we going to find the guy? This is like systemic racism doesn't exist. Point me to the racism in the system. It's just like you have to find the one racist, and that's how you defeat systemic racism. It's the same concept always. It's like, sorry, I successfully have passed the book. I'm just managing the managers. So that's it's not my fault. You got the wrong guy.
Okay, it is never a good sign when a CEO has to end an interview like that. As I've said before, our company has never done anything illegal. Now, have you seen a man in a blue fedora? He's supposed to give me a new identity as I get pulled into a helicopter that's already taking off. Tell my daughter I loved her and my husband I didn't. I'm out! Now, I should say, other sharing ministries have tried to distance themselves from Alira, claiming that this sort of deception is not part of legitimate, authentic healthcare sharing ministries. And Alira is definitely bad. But one thing insurance commissioners have repeatedly told us in researching this piece is how little transparency there is into how these ministries operate and just how wary they think people should be of all of them. And look, broadly, we have to do more in this country to reduce the cost of healthcare. Personally, I'd argue switching to a single payer system would remove a lot of these problems instantly, but that clearly isn't happening anytime soon. So, in the meantime, I do get the appeal of lower cost health insurance. The problem is, this isn't that. It's not insurance at all. And states need, at the very least, to pass laws to make sure that people know what they're getting into with HCSMs and to force them to allocate funds properly. The problem is, some are going in the opposite direction. Take Florida. In 2018, after intense lobbying, it loosened its restrictions on HCSMs even further, going from requiring that participants be members of the same religion to merely requiring that they share a common set of ethical or religious beliefs. And that could be basically anything. At this point, the bar to entry is so low, just about anyone can become an HCSM. And the reason I know that is, this anyone did. You may remember, back in 2015, we founded a church, Our Lady of Perpetual Exemption, to demonstrate that tax exemptions for churches enabled some of them to do terrible things. Well, just 3 months ago, we officially founded a spin-off church called Our Lady of Perpetual Health, and we founded it, where else but Florida. And I'm happy to tell you that church now has its own healthcare sharing ministry, Johnny Care. And the whole thing was scarily easy to do. So, without further ado, please join me, my most blessed congregants, at church. And you know, I couldn't run an organisation as important as this ministry all by myself, so please welcome, live from Johnny Care headquarters in sunny Florida, the Felicity Huffman to my William H. Macy, my dear wife and business partner, Wanda Joe. Praise be to you, my Wanda.
Praise be to you, my John, and praise be to Florida, that blessed state where minimally regulated insurance knockoffs go to be born and retired people go to die.
Amen to that.
I have heard the word of the Lord.
Bro, the floofier your hair is, the closer to God you are. Everybody knows this. She's like, this is like, what is the hats that signify that you're married in Hasidic communities? It's like that for evangelicals. The floofier the hair, the closer to God.
Word, my John.
Ooh, and what did it say, my Wanda?
It said, thou must free thyself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, from the overreaching grasp of government health care. Stick it to him.
Stick it to him. Now, Wanda, we're running the ministry as a church, even though in Florida, we actually don't have to be.
Amen. Praise Florida.
But we do need to fulfill the requirement that our ministry provide for the financial or medical needs of a participant through contributions from other participants. And the good news is, we have done that through our special Johnny Care First Aid Kit, containing not one, not two, but 3 Band-Aids. It screams the cheapest option that we could find. And you know what, my Wanda?
What, my John?
It was.
Now, why 3 Band-Aids? Because we know that in life sometimes accidents happen. But if they happen more than 3 times, it just stops being our problem.
And let me be clear, when you sign up for membership, you're not paying for your own first aid kit. You're paying for someone else's, and they are paying for yours.
And that gives you freedom from insurance, and us freedom from responsibility.
And beyond that, it's a very simple system. If you need medical care, you go to the doctor, you receive it, you request a bill, and then you pay that bill on your own.
Leave us out of it.
Oh yeah, because if you submit that bill to us, we're gonna reject it.
From his lips to God's bigger lips in the sky.
Testify. Either because you engaged in the sin of fornication beyond the bonds of matrimony.
You whoring little skis.
Or you spent the day eating bonbons on the couch instead of going to the gym.
Or masturbated ever.
Whatever it is, we're going to reject it. And it's as easy as that. No deductibles, no claims, and no contracts, except for the one written on our hearts. Now, you can become a member of our Johnny Care ministry for just $1.99, and we're limiting membership to 5,000 of you in Florida, not because we have to, but because that is the number of first aid kits that we've bought. So go to freedomfromhealthcare.org and see if you qualify to send us money and get almost nothing in return.
As close to nothing as we could get away with.
And to be clear, we should not be able to get away with any of this. Thank you to Wanda Joe, who, if history is any indication, will disappear for 3 years and ultimately resurface in a Canadian Mohegan sun, answering to Deb. I just love you so much, my Wanda.
Oh, and I love you so much, my John.
Their bits do go real long. Like, but then again, how else could they have done this? Like, it's not like they're going to scam real humans with it and be like, haha, we only gave them 3 Band-Aids. Like, this was a cancer patient from Florida. This child has stage 4 child cancer. And their family had to pay a $400,000 medical bill. And we refused to pay it for them. Yeah, child cancer. It's a famous type of cancer that you don't know about. I said it on purpose.
Visit freedomfromhealthcare.org to learn how you can stick it to them.
Stick it to them.
That's our show. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.
Will you be covering the leftist TikTok drama today? What the fuck is that, dude? What the actual fuck is Oh, that's the real child cancer right there, dude. Actually. I think some of this chat is just making stuff up. Oh, no. A lot of this chat makes stuff up all the time. Billie Eilish was queer baiting again? Why? What did she do this time, dude? I wonder if someone programmed the Hasanabi topic generator and is just posting the results on this chat. Wait, really? That's so fucking annoying. Right-wing pastor Greg Locke used his sermon today to allege that child trafficking tunnels under the Capitol and White House and accused Joe Biden and Oprah Winfrey and Tom Hanks of being a bunch of pedophiles. Hell yeah.
It's about to bring the whole house down, ladies and gentlemen. These bunch of sex trafficking mongrels are about to be exposed. These bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood are going to be exposed for...
This dude's not even into it. He's like, yeah, whatever. I've heard all about them pedophiles. Come on, man. Give us something new this time.
Who they are. I don't care what you think about fraudulent Sleepy Joe. He's a sex trafficking, demon-possessed mongrel. He's of the left. He ain't no better than the Pope and Oprah Winfrey and Tom Hanks.
Damn, he got words for the Pope. Yo, evangelicals are coming out hard against the Catholics, dude. Hell yeah. Look at that. The real war of the worlds, brother. You tell him. You tell that fucking Pope right now. No, because the Pope is leftist, dude. We got a gay Pope. He's goddamn communist. He likes to dance, ladies and gentlemen of this congregation. Did you know the Pope likes to dance? I say that's a sin. Would you be terrified if I told you that the Pope also speaks Espanol? Ladies and gentlemen, the devil's tongue. I tell you what, we ain't got none of that in here.
And the rest of that wicked crowd, God is going to bring the whole house down. I said he's going to bring the whole house down. He's going to burn the whole thing to the ground. He's going to expose all these bunch of pedophiles. I'm telling you, he's going to expose Kamala Harris for the Jezebel demon that she is.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, that's awesome. Bro, he said Kamala Harris is a Jezebel demon, dude. Oh, that's fucking sick. A Jezebel demon. Oh, jeez, Lord mercy, dude. Kamala Harris told you that you cannot come, ladies and gentlemen. When she said do not come, she meant white, Christian, women and men in loving relationships.
I don't know why pastors don't talk about this stuff. Well, I do. They don't want to seem crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you already gave yourself the answer, dude. That's why. Seem crazy, dude.
I'm already crazy. People like, do you really think it's that much of an epidemic?
I mean, this is so much fun, though. Like, I totally see the appeal of this, especially if you're like a horrific monster. Incredibly racist, monstrous person. Like, this is so much fun. You get together with your friends and family every Sunday, and this guy is doing, like, all the greatest hits. It's like a stand-up special, but for freaks. You know what I mean? It's wild. It's so much fun.
Do you
Oh, he's got the auxiliary officer ring too.
Honestly believe, how am I going to get somewhere crazy? Do you honestly believe, Pastor Locke, that the military uncovered tunnels beneath the Capitol building and beneath the White House and in the Five-Fingered Lakes? Do you really believe that they found kids? Yeah, both live ones and dead ones. And if you disagree with that, and if you try to discount that, and if you try to cover that, and if you try to keep that on the DL, you're just as complicit as Hunter Biden and the rest of them bunch of crack-smoking perverts.
Dude, if there's someone smoking crack, it's fucking you, dude. Like, Hunter Biden comes across normal and well-adjusted in comparison to our Jebediah right here, a son of sin. I love when these guys get caught doing, like, all the worst shit. It's so much funnier. To be honest, seeing this as a Christian is saddening. These people are going to judge all of us because this dude. No, this guy is a psycho fundamentalist, dude. Hunter Biden is America's prince and he's precious and I love him. Vibes unparalleled to Hunter Biden. It's true. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. It's significantly more fun that they're having than, like, I mean, even though their world is like riddled with hatred and fear, any given moment is terrifying for them. Like, can you imagine living in a world where you unironically believe that there are tunnels under the White House for pedophilia? Like, that's got to be a very weird world to live in, right? But having said that, it's still a lot of fun. Like, the world is like an action movie, and you're the main hero in that action movie if that's the way you operate, right? It's a lot more fun than the constant self-inflicted wounds that, like, liberals engage in. I forget who said this, but it was like, you guys wanted me to talk about, like, whiteness and how some liberals see it as a disease. Like, white liberals specifically talk about how, like, you know, slavery is a wound that we inflicted, and that, you know, I'm ashamed of my white skin as a consequence of, like, America's original sin and stuff like that. So that stuff is not as fun as what this guy's doing. I feel like it comes from, like, I wonder if it's like Catholic roots that you constantly have to feel like in pain and in shame. You know what I mean? You constantly have to live with the guilt. And I feel like that's not as fun. You know what I mean? I don't know where it comes from, but, like, those people are basically no different than the religious people who, like, whip themselves. You know what I mean? At the end of every night. And after a while, that ritual becomes liberating. Like, you feel good when you're flogging yourself at the end of the day. It's no different than these liberals who say shit like, oh my God, it's so embarrassing to be white. Like, I live with the shame every day. It's like, oh, fuck, man. The slavery stuff is just, you know, I apologize to every black person I see all the time. And it's like, you're fucking ridiculous. You're a ridiculous person. Like, you are jerking off on the timeline. That is no different than the person who wants to express their BDSM kink fetish in public without your consent. You know what I mean? That's literally the same energy as the guy who wants to fucking not just do kink at Pride, but, like, straight up wants to show you you know, wants to involve you in their own kink project without your prior consent. It's just like the entire world is their stage to constantly self-flagellate. Okay? That's what it is. It's no different than our 60-second ad break. Oh, fuck! Dude, I had such a better segue than that, dude. God damn it! Fuck! I had actually a fucking solid segue for the top of the hour ad break. It was like I was sloshing it around in my brain. Please stop linking the historic moment with G4 with Olivia Munn. Please, 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 chatter. Please, are you okay? Are you okay? Since 12:18, you have spammed this link over and over again while we're doing politics. Please, please, just be normal. Please be normal. Please, 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 please be normal. Please. I beg of you. Anyway, top of the hour every hour. It's time for the second ad break of the day. Okay. You no longer want to see those ads. You already know. All you need to do is subscribe. You can subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Or a $5 subscription. Okay. Here's the ad break now. Okay, let's watch this fucking crazy shit. Ever since I started dating my boyfriend, we both felt like we already knew each other. We also had a lot of deja vus while being together. So we decided to do a past life regression meditation. And turns out we did know each other. We lived in Ireland in the 1500s. We were a lesbian couple and had to keep it secret because the hard times. My soul's body looked a bit like this. And his soul's body looked a lot like this. Wait, is she black? Is she saying that she was black in Ireland in the 1500s? How do I delete this memory? No, too late, dude. You now know for a fact. Why is it that these people are never ugly in their past lives? It's always like, yeah, I was this like super hot. I was this like super hot Irish woman. And I was this super hot Moor woman in Ireland in the 1500s. Okay? And we were super hot. Like, we were just fucking cool as shit. We were discovered by his soul's body family and they accused me of witchcraft. What? So I was finally condemned to the stake. My only crime was loving my soulmate. But in this life, we've been given a second chance. Let's just hope this one's not so tragic. Haha. Holy gums, dude. That's a gummy mommy right there. There may have been small number of Arabs in parts of Europe. Archaeologists only recently started admitting Europe wasn't 100% white. How did they do that? Like, how do they find this stuff? Who was it that said can't trust gum smilers? It's not body shaming. He's just smiling way too hard, okay?